And I can't think of a better person to follow that than one of my personal kinfolks, a homie, a colleague, a comrade of mine. We're going to bring up the incredible Candace Montgomery, an organizer with Free MN and a whole slew of other organizing outfits. Candace, come on up. We're going to bring you up next.
Hi, y'all. Thank you for that introduction, comrade. I appreciate it a lot. I think there'll be some slides that are coming up, but just wanted to offer a little tiny bit more of grounding of what is still happening here in Minnesota, mostly to say that a drawdown from 3,000 to 2,300 agents is not a drawdown, that we are still experiencing high levels of violence and continued violations of First Amendment rights. I just want to really emphasize that though we are experiencing high levels of violence here, I think many of us feel that we are winning. Not just the story, but actually really winning on the ground. We are pushing back. And that looks like a whole ton of defensive work. Every day on my commute, I see multiple neighbors in yellow vests protecting outside of schools, protecting outside of different hot zones across the city. I see mutual aid funds making sure that people are getting their rent paid while they have to basically stay safe inside. Grocery deliveries, all of that stuff on the defensive is really about caring for each other. And then there's a bunch of work that we're going to talk about today on the offense, and really not waiting around for us to get what we need, but fighting for that. So move to the next slide here. And all of that is really to say, if folks are paying attention, if you're thinking about authoritarianism and how we beat it, there are folks out there in the world who study this, who have studied these things historically. I get the opportunity to study this. And mostly what we know here in Minnesota is that civil resistance, nonviolent direct action, and mass movements are what beat authoritarianism. This graph kind of shows you that without a civil resistance movement, we are at 7.5% likely chance to actually push back on backslide of democracy and a consolidation of authoritarian power. But when we build that movement, which we are doing here in Minnesota, I heard a new stat that like 38% of Minnesotans in some way participated on the 23rd of January, no shopping, no school, no work. And even more so, we're more likely to beat authoritarianism when we have organized labor, which many of us are part of that, right? We are part of a working class of folks who are here for that. So this is part of our winning strategy and what we know is necessary. Next slide. And this is really just to say, like, this is the recipe. This is how we're thinking about it here in Minneapolis and different parts, that we have to build a mass movement that brings more people in, not just to like Marcia said, you know, Facebook or whatever, but actually to be in action together. It's about non-cooperation. It's saying we're no longer going to abide by the status quo. That both is like getting businesses to defect from supporting the regime, as well as everyday folks to taking away their compliance. Minneapolis is showing the country how you connect and care for your neighbor. And we need to stop allowing the right to use polarization as a dirty word and repolarize our people around a choice, right? What is the world that we want? And are you here for the world as it is, in which neighbors can be snatched out of their houses without warrant, or a world as it should be, where we're caring for each other, where rent is paid, where school is free and accessible, etc. And then continuing to move more people to our side. We have to talk to the folks who don't agree with us, oftentimes because they've been sold a whole bunch of lies about how the right is trying to be on their side. And we need to move those people to our side and be like, nah, bro, that is actually not it, right? And having these conversations, as well as getting and putting pressure on businesses to and other places to defect from the regime. Next slide. Kind of already said this, so we'll just keep going. So ultimately, I'm here to talk about what is happening in Minnesota and kick it off for my other comrades to talk more in detail. But we are going after the corporations that are supporting ICE by allowing them to eat at their their establishments, sleep in their hotels, or renting cars, or allowing them to park in their parking lot while they terrorize our community. And we're really doing this with Free Minnesota and other partners by using creative nonviolent action to put pressure and encourage businesses to not cooperate with ICE. And hopefully y'all have seen some of those great videos. And so this is really about knocking down the business pillar, the corporations pillar that are ultimately allowing for ICE to have the things they need to do what they are doing and allow the regime to continue on. And we've been targeting places like Hilton, restaurants, Enterprise, and Target. And I'm going to pass it to some more comrades to talk exactly about how we're doing that and then how you all can get involved. Thank you so much for being here and taking your time.